Oh, it's such a good day today because I've just had the meter put in for the electricity and I'm so excited. I had put the cables down into the ground and put the temporary plug sockets in that house in anticipation. I've just been patiently waiting and waiting, and finally 7 months later, gone through the whole winter, 7 months later I have electricity. So now I'm going to run off and go and get some food because I can plug the fridge in. Oh. Hello, good morning and welcome to my channel. This is video number 9, a very exciting video. I'm a very lucky man today, as you just heard. Now I'm going to keep this intro very short because I've got a young local lady from the village who wants to give me something, so I'm going to go and sort her out. I'll see you in a minute. Not a lot to say, to be honest with you. You can see it. Right, I've decided I'm going to move the bus, and that was sparked appropriately by the electrics being installed yesterday. Moving the bus back to where it was, just before I moved it down there, I think it's going to be a lot easier. Running the cables down there is going to be a lot cheaper if nothing else, and also getting the water down there. If I was to run everything down and diagonally across the field, it can be very expensive, and also I'm going to have to put it under the ground or run it around the fence, so that could be a lot of hassle. Plus, I was standing down there last night and I was looking at the views, and I think they're a little bit better. If I do finally somewhere down the line go forward with this glamping, I will have to get all the permits first, and obviously pending on that, but someone's going to have to come down and have a look, and if they see my bus down there with all the decking, the spa, electricity, water, shower, kitchen areas and blah blah blah, then that could spark a few problems, and I don't want that. So best just move it back over here where it's nice and safe in the urban land, where I know I'm not going to have any problems at all. First of all I had it here, then I had it down there, then I moved it over there, and now I'm going to move it back there again. I'm hoping this isn't going to be too much of a flaff because this ground is proper solid at the moment. So inside, I've kept the fire there. It weighs as much as me, and I'm just going to be careful. If it slides around too much, I'll take it out. But to be honest with you, I'm too hot to worry about it. So here we go. Let's see if it starts. I can't reach the pedals. Wow. Well, I wasn't expecting that. Oh, really wasn't expecting that. That's fantastic. So I haven't removed these stones. I'm genuinely surprised that that started. Find reverse. I think it's, remember, that way. And then let's go for a drive. I've got it on this one. Just pause for a second because that is going to be my view every morning, and every night I'll be looking up there. Wow, that was definitely worth it. Fingers crossed now I've got that as flat as I had it when it was on the other side. Oh, I feel really good for that. Yeah, that was worth it. After seeing that view, I mean, that is spectacular. Waking up to that every morning is going to be amazing. Now, I got the electricity sorted out 2 days ago. I got the internet sorted out. I've moved the bus so it's exactly where I want it. But I've also decided that I'm going to paint the front of the house while I'm in this positive mood. Looking at it from the road, and after 7 months, it just is an eyesore and ugly as hell. So painting it from the road, it will look like it's a finished house. And for me, walking around it, I just feel a bit more pleasant, especially now I put the lights on, the solar lights for the evening. When the lights are shining down on there, it'll be shining down on a white wall. That's what I'm going to do. Now, I know it's a bit like painting a turd, but afterwards, further down the line, I will be covering it all with the insulation and getting a really nice finish on there. So I think it is worth it for the few months that I'm not going to be able to do anything on it. So I'm going to carry on. We're coming into summer, it's the jolly season, and that looks grim. So I'm going to clean all the furniture around there for a start. I have a canopy which I'm going to put over here. It's about 3 by 4 meters, and then that should make the whole area just look a lot tidier. I bought some filler, flexible filler, 3-in-1 paint. That's primer, top coat and mold protection, going over all of this area here. Make sure all the cracks are filled in and repair any of the ones that were done that weren't done particularly well. Before I do that, I'm going to get a jet wash on there, get rid of all that mold, fill it all in, slap some paint on there, and then it should look a little bit more presentable and feel a lot more friendly to live in. Clearing that out has really made a big difference. And I got the jet wash out, and I haven't used it for quite a while. Didn't know whether it was fully working or not, but it turns out the handle's got a leak in it. So that's going to have a role in weakening the spray at the other end. But I'm hoping it's enough to at least get rid of some of that. But I guess it's going to be a little bit messy, so we'll see. You can see here a lot of this was sort of coming apart again. It wasn't necessarily that it was any movement again. I think it was more that it was put on a bit sloppily. But digging out those channels now means I can get a bit more in there. The good side about doing this is that in doing it now, by the time I come back to it, if there are any new cracks or any of those existing cracks open up again, it'll just give me a better idea as to the condition of what's behind this wall as well. This is the only crack that really worries me a little bit, because it goes from the bottom all the way to the top. And that in itself wouldn't be the problem, but on this side, you can see that where it's been patched in down here, there's a clear crack that comes up through the window and then all the way to the top, which would suggest that this whole corner has probably had a little bit of subsidence. Didn't worry too much about up here. There are quite a few cracks, and I was just tapping away and I could hear it slightly hollow behind it. So when I come back to do the walls in the future, I'll probably take that section out and re-render it, because you can see there's a crack that goes right down to the middle of the window, and then a very obvious crack that comes out around there, and likewise plenty of cracks around there. But this, as I said before, was brick and done probably at a later date. I don't know how it wasn't done recently, but it wasn't done in the last 10 years or so. I'm assuming it was done a bit longer, but there's no foundation, so it's not surprised it sank in this area being brick. So when I come back to this, I'll be dealing with that, but in the meantime I'm happy just to go over it with paints and just see what happens. That's that done. I'll run around and fill it, and then tomorrow I'll start painting it and finish the painting. It's really windy today. I filled in all the cracks, but I had to go over it again this morning just to tidy up a little bit. And they're still drying. While they are drying, I'm going to paint this wall here. Unfortunately, it's so windy today. Kicking up around the courtyard, and it's going in my face, and I already suffer from hay fever. It's getting a bit irritable around my eyes. But I'm going to carry on with a roller on that bit there, and I'll avoid obviously where the cracks are and where it's still drying, and I can at least go around the windows with the paintbrush. I don't think it's going to calm down. Actually, I just looked at the weather forecast and it's going to be gusting up to 40, 45 tomorrow, so I don't think there's any chance of me using the spray gun, so I'll just have to work fast with the roller. So that went surprisingly well. Coming out and having a look at it this morning, a couple of things stand out to me. One, it's so nice to see a different colour than staring at that old mouldy wall before. But there is a but. Because it's white, the sun on it, it's not so bad on the back section, but once I've done all the way around, it's going to reflect a lot of sun off of it, and it's going to be a little bit hard on the eyes. I went down the shop this morning to get some more paint, and while I was down there, I found out that they actually did a slightly off-white colour, which I didn't realise they did. And maybe it's because it's not shown on the pot itself, but that should take away a little bit of the sharpness of the white and the glare. I'm going to now do the side and the front with that, and if that works and it's enough difference to warrant it, then I will quickly go around the back as well. To get the spray gun out, hopefully I'm going to have more success with it than I did with the jet spray, and hopefully it won't all come back at me. I've moved the car out of the way to make sure, just in case. I think I'm going to miss that giraffe on the side there. I've been staring at it for so long, but I brought you around the side here just to be clear that I know that this wall looks awful. I know that the filling on there is terrible, and I can see on the wall around the side that also looking terrible as well, the one that I painted. But that isn't the purpose of what I'm doing. This is just to cover it over so I can have something nicer to look at. If I was going to be using this as my finished wall and I wasn't going to be insulating it, then I would have done a much better finish on it and it would look nice and smooth. So I thought I'd point that out. But looking at that paint, first of all, it's not that brilliant white, which is exactly what I wanted. So I'm going to turn it on, got everything in place, can't think of anything that should go wrong, which means there's a high possibility that something will go wrong. water was coming out the end, but then as soon as I put the end attachment, that green thing that you turn backwards and forwards on the gun, it just wasn't coming through there. So something is blocked. I gave it 2 chances, it's not going to work, so it's back to the old-fashioned way with the roller. And now it's getting a bit later in the afternoon, but I'm not going to stop until I've got it all done, including the backs. So yeah, I'm pleased with that. I'm glad I went for that slightly off-white colour as well. The white, when the sun came out earlier on the back, was really glaring in my eyes, and this slightly off. Don't know what colour it is, it's not quite cream, but if you didn't have white next to it, you'd think it was white. But it's just enough to stop that glare. And the back now, I did that as well. I went back over it again with that lighter colour, or the creamier colour. Oh God, I really didn't enjoy that. I really didn't enjoy it at all. Oh, when you're doing these things and it's not like the finishing product, it's just a temporary fix, it ain't fun. Now I can't wait to get back down to that bus. Still a little bit windy, and I'm looking behind me at that post as well. I can't wait to get rid of that. It's a real eyesore. Fingers crossed in the next 4 or 5 weeks that's going to be gone. But anyway, I'm going to sleep on it, have a good fresh start tomorrow, and I'm really looking forward to getting down there. So look out for the next video. Thanks for watching. Thumbs up, please subscribe as always, and I'm going to leave you with a little photograph I took last night for a bit of inspiration when I start the bus. Take care. First of all, a local lady from the village is just waiting here, so I'm going to make this quite quick. She's been...